Hey guys, I am back. Doing a late night session tonight because no school tomorrow, so I can sleep in a little bit if I want to. So I figured I could come on here and read some more of the Bible tonight since I have time right now. Hope everyone is having a great day. I was trying to figure out all my bot situation because I have 3 of them now that just fight with each other now when I'm on my stream, so I gotta figure out how to make them stop fighting. Yeah, so still learning all that stuff. So if you see a ton of posts about my stuff, sorry. I'm still learning how to manage all of that. So I tried to make it so they didn't post as much, but they're still apparently going crazy over there. So yeah, I guess I'll find some time to find a way to get. I tried to turn some of them off, and apparently they're not off yet. So the joys of learning as you go. So yesterday I was going to read 29 to 34, but because I was sick and my throat was bothering me, I ended up just doing 29 and 30. So I figured tonight we could do 31 and 32 and just keep on trucking. I think last night we ended with all the tabernacle stuff and how it was actually built, and the priestly stuff that Aaron and his sons had to do in the not the temple, the tabernacle. So I think we're going to move on now to the next part of Exodus that is not always about the certain things that are in there. Because the tabernacle was very tedious with all of the 50 loops in the tapestries that they had to do and stuff like that. So we get to move on from that, and I think we get to go back to the actual story part of Exodus, find out what was happening with Moses and all of them in the desert and what was going to take place. Because I feel like growing up, they never really talked about the tabernacle and all that stuff. They would start with Moses leading the people out of Egypt, and then them crossing the Red Sea and Pharaoh chasing after them and all that. But then they would skip all that tabernacle stuff, and then they would go straight into what we're going to go into today, where it's more of the story part of what happened after that, and after Moses had gone up on the mountain and comes back down. So we're going to get more into that story, and we get to read about the golden calf today too. So we all know that story from Sunday school. So I'm going to start on Exodus 31. I hope you guys can hear me. I feel like I can't be heard because my throat's just... I'm getting there. I'm much better today than I was yesterday. And much better today than I was even 2 or 3 days ago when I barely could get out of bed. So if I can sit here and talk, I'm doing better. All right, Exodus 31. Bezalel and Oholiab. Then the Lord said to Moses, "See, I have chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with understanding, with knowledge, and with all kinds of skills, to make artistic designs for work in gold, silver, and bronze, to cut and set stones, to work in wood, and to engage in all kinds of crafts. Moreover, I have appointed Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, nope, not gonna get that, of the tribe of Dan, to help him. Also, I have given ability to all the skilled workers to make everything I have commanded you, the tent of meeting, the ark of the covenant law, with the atonement cover on it, and all other furnishings of the tent, the table and its articles, the pure gold lampstand, and all its accessories, the altar of incense, the altar of burnt offering, and all its utensils, the basin with its stand, and also the woven garments, both the sacred garments for Aaron on the priest, and the garments for his sons, when they serve as priests, and the anointing oil, and fragrant incense for the holy place. They are to make them just as I commanded you. Yeah, we also talked about like the incense and the anointing oil, and how like they had to get a perfumer and have certain things mixed into it, and that nobody else was supposed to use it. The Sabbath. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, you must observe my Sabbaths. This will be a sign between me and you for the generations to come, so you know that I am the Lord who makes you holy. Observe the Sabbath, because it is holy to you. Anyone who desecrates it is to be put to death. Those who do any work on its day must be cut off from their people. For 6 days' work is to be done, but the seventh day is a day of Sabbath rest, holy to the Lord. Whoever does any work on the Sabbath is to be put to death. The Israelites are to observe the Sabbath, celebrating it for the generations to come as a lasting covenant. It will be a sign between me and the Israelites forever. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he abstained from work and rested." When the Lord finished speaking to Moses on Mount Sinai, he gave him the 2 tablets of the covenant law, the tablets of stone that had been inscribed by the finger of God. The golden calf. When the people saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said, "Come, make us gods who will go before us. And as for this fellow Moses who brought us out of Egypt, we don't know what's happened to him." Aaron answered them, "Take off the gold earrings that your wives, your sons, and your daughters are wearing, and bring them to me." So all the people took off their earrings and brought them to Aaron. He took what they handed him and made it into an idol, cast in the shape of a calf, fashioning it with a tool. Then he said, "These are your gods, Israel, who brought you out of Egypt." When Aaron saw this, he built an altar in front of the calf and announced, "Tomorrow there will be a festival to the Lord." So the next day the people rose early and sacrificed burnt offerings and presented fellowship offerings. Afterward they sat down to eat and drink and got up to indulge in revelry. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go down, because your people, whom you brought up out of Egypt, have become corrupt. They have been quick to turn away from what I have commanded them, and I have made themselves an idol cast in the shape of a calf. They've bowed down to it and sacrificed to it, and have said, 'There are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt.' I've seen these people," the Lord said to Moses. "They are stiff-necked people. Now leave me alone, so that my anger may burn against them, and that I may destroy them. Then I will make you into a great nation." God has some major anger issues. I feel like that's seen a lot throughout the Bible too, is God's wrath and his anger. But Moses sought favor of the Lord his God. "Lord," he said, "why should your anger burn against your people, whom you brought up out of Egypt with great power and a mighty hand? Why should the Egyptians say, 'It is with evil intent that he brought them out, to kill them on the mountain and to wipe them off the face of the earth'? Turn from your fierce anger, relent, and do not bring disaster on your people. Remember your servants Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, to whom you swore by your own self, 'I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and I will give your descendants all this land I promised them, and it will be their inheritance forever.' Then the Lord relented and did not bring his people the disaster that he had threatened. Moses turned and went down from the mountain with the 2 tablets of the covenant law in his hands. They were inscribed on both sides, front and back. The tablets were the work of God. The writing was the writing of God engraved on the tablets. When Joshua heard the noise of the people shouting, he said to Moses, "There is the sound of war in the camp." Moses replied, "It's not the sound of victory. It's not the sound of defeat. It's the sound of singing I hear." When Moses approached the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, his anger burned, and he threw the tablets out of his hands, breaking them into pieces at the foot of the mountain. Then he took the calf they had made and burned it in the fire, then ground it into powder, scattered it on the water, and made the Israelites drink it. He said to Aaron, "What did these people do to you, that they led you into such great sin?" "Do not be angry, my lord," Aaron answered. "You know how prone these people are to evil. They said to me, 'Make us gods who will go before us.' And for this fellow Moses who brought us out of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him." So I told him, "Whoever has any gold jewelry, take it off." Then they gave me the gold, and I threw it into the fire, and out came this calf. Moses saw the people were running wild, and Aaron had let them get out of control, and so become a laughing stock to all their enemies. So he stood at the entrance to the camp and said, "Whoever is for the Lord, come to me." And all the Levites rallied to him. Then he said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Each man strap a sword to his side. Go back and forth through the camp, from one end to the other, each killing his brother and friend and neighbor." The Levites did as Moses commanded, and that day about 3,000 of the people died. Then Moses said, "You have been set apart to the Lord today, for you are against your own sons and brothers, and he has blessed you this day." The next day Moses said to the people, "You have committed a great sin, but now I will go up to the Lord. Perhaps I can make atonement for your sin." So Moses went back to the Lord and said, "Oh, what a great sin these people have committed. They have made themselves gods of gold. But now, please forgive their sin. But if not, then blot me out of the book you have written." The Lord replied to Moses, "Whoever has sinned against me I will blot out of my book. Now go, lead the people to the place I spoke of, and my angel will go before you. However, when the time comes for me to punish, I will punish them for their sins." And the Lord struck the people with a plague because of what they did with the calf that Aaron had made. Boom, boom, boom. It is interesting that a lot of the characters in the Bible have, I feel like, a lot of anger issues. Like they don't know how to control their emotions. Or like, maybe it's not just anger. Maybe it's just a lot of control. Because they really just want to control the people. And this is the way to do it, is to, tell these type of stories where it's like, oh, the authority over me has all the power and I need to listen, or, bad things are going to happen to me. Yeah, I think that goes into the whole idea about, the Sabbath day and keeping it holy, and how, God said if you don't, then, you're dead. So it's like, there's no like in between. There's no like gray areas where it's like, well, this is not something you should do, but if you do, like, we'll give you a second chance, or I don't know. It's just weird to me because, Christianity always talks about, like, God gives everyone a second chance because he sent Jesus to give everyone a second chance. But at the same time, it's like the God in the Old Testament absolutely did not give people second chances unless they were on his side. But like enemies, like that just doesn't happen. They don't get second chances for anything. Like, you mess up, you're dead. So, um, but we know they take, these commands that their God supposedly made very literally, because later down the road we see them doing things like that to people and making them examples of, we have the control over this tribe, and if you don't do what we say or what God says, then we're just gonna punish you or we're gonna kill you. So, and I think that's a lot. It's that whole idea of authority and how there's authority over you and you have to obey that authority without question. Which, I mean, obviously it worked for years, because there's been religions and tribes and things like that for as long as humanity has been around, And it just takes one person to come up with these ideas of, I want all the power and I want all the control. So they find a way to do it. And I feel like religion is an easy way to do that, because you can say, God told me this. I mean, even if it's just your own brain, like, nobody can come up and be like, are you sure it was God? Like, because a lot of people, they don't question those things, and they don't look into those things further and, find out what's really going on in their brains. And if, they're hearing voices and stuff that they don't think is them, like, there could be all kinds of things that go on behind that, and people don't realize it, and it can really affect you in the long run. So yeah, I always think that's very interesting, the whole follow me and listen to me because of the fact that I'm an authority figure. I think that's something that I've struggled with too, was even like now, that is something I struggle with my kids, because I really don't think I have the right to tell them to do something just because I'm their parent, and that they need more, not just like do it because I say so, but like they need more of a deeper understanding of why I say these things. And I don't know, that's something I've really been thinking about lately, because I really hate the whole, you know, well, why should I do this? And then you're like, well, because I say so, because I'm the final authority. And I get like respect and, you know, treating your parents well, because most parents are there to love and protect you, but I don't know. I just have a major problem with that, and that is one thing in my life that I have been just thinking about a lot, and how I can change the way I can say that, and, you know, have a deeper understanding of why just allowing authorities to control your life is not a good way to live. Like, there needs to be, I don't know, just more behind it, I guess. That's really hard to explain right now. But, yeah, that's one struggle in my life right now, is just figuring that out, and figuring, like, well, you know, we have government, we have laws, and we have these things, and it's like, well, you submit to authority. And it's like, I submit to authority at certain levels, you know, like, I submit to authority for, you know, because I don't want to break the law and I don't want to go to jail. But at the same time, it's like, the authority that I used to submit to in the church, where it was like, you know, pastors and preachers and people like that up at the top, like, they're the ones in charge, and so God gives them, you know, this special knowledge or whatever, and they preach it to us every week. And you know, and then that goes down from that authority, where it's like pastors, and then elders, and then, you know, lay people, and it just goes down in these layers. And even in, like, the Christian home that I grew up in, it was very much like, God's at the top, and then, dad's the final authority, and then mom's under dad, and then the kids are under mom. It's that whole umbrella scene that you see people posting around the internet where it's like God, husband, wife, and children. And yeah, it doesn't really. Christianity doesn't give anyone the ability to have equality in any part of their life. And I feel like that it teaches people not to just, like, I don't know, not to respect authority, but that they have to follow the authority because they're, like, given it by God. Where it's not, like, if you don't believe those things, then it's worthless. But at the same time, if you do believe those things, it's very harmful for anyone who's under that authority because it opens the doors for major abuse, I feel like, in the church. And I think a lot of people who are in authority do use that against people, so that they can do whatever they want, and they're not held accountable to anyone because they're so high up the chain that they are only accountable to God, which is basically they're only accountable to themselves. So if they are not a good person and not a moral person, it's not going to matter to them in the end what they do to other people because, they're the top dog. So, and we see that all through history too, because we look at the Bible and they talk about that, but then we look at medieval times and stuff where the Catholic Church was in charge of everything. It was like, you have to be a Catholic and you have to go to church and you have to, do all the things that the Catholic Church tells you to do, or, you're the enemy and the enemy has to be destroyed. And there was just there's a danger, I feel like, not just in religion, in any part of life. I feel like that if there's one final authority that you have to live your life for, it's dangerous. It puts people in a place that they can be used and abused, and I don't think it's okay. And I think that's a big stepping stone too when coming out of the church, is that I need to have better reasoning to follow authority and not just blindly follow, because I was taught to blindly follow, and because of that, I really, not just me, but anyone who's in the church sets themselves up for horrible abuse that could happen. And I don't want that to happen to anyone ever, but it's not a good system. And I do think a lot of that comes from religion, because a lot of religions, it's very much a hierarchy, and it's not always the best thing for people. I think having equality among everyone, regardless of where it is, whether it's church or home or I don't even know, just everyday life things, I feel like having any authority over people is a dangerous concept for that kind of stuff. So, and not like work stuff. Obviously, you have to have someone who's in charge at work, but I mean, I guess people can take advantage of those things too. So, yeah, I think religion has a big part of that though, and I'm seeing more and more churches be more open to equality and be more open to, you know, not just having men or certain people at the top anymore. But I still think we have a long way to go, especially with fundamental Christianity, where it's still very much like men are at the top, then women, then children, like, well, and God, but I don't believe there is a God. So honestly, I think it's just men trying to control, you know, people, trying to control other men, trying to control women, and I think that's a big thing too. Is it's very detrimental to women, because if you're put under this authority figure where your husband has to be the one who's like the final say in everything, you don't have a right to like do what you need to do in life, you know? And I feel like there's a lot of abuse when it comes to that too, because, you know, they tell their husbands to love their wives like the church, but I've heard a lot more horror stories about people who were Christians and married in the church and lived most of their lives together, and then things went south real fast because I don't know. I don't know if it's religion or just the time period that people were living in, but I feel like there was a lot of not good things happening to women who married Christian men in the church back in the day. And I don't know. I know culturally things have changed and women have more rights now, but still, like, I feel like it's very oppressive to women and dangerous, honestly. I don't think any woman should be in, well, any religion, because I'm an atheist, but definitely not Christianity. It was funny because growing up in Christianity, like, I always said, like, I was, like, super into Mormonism when I was a kid. Like, I wanted to know everything about Mormonism, even though I was Christian. Like, I just thought Mormonism was interesting because it wasn't, you know, my religion. It was a religion of a lot of, like, my friends and people around me. So I wanted to know more, and I wanted to know what they believed. And I always thought it was crazy, you know, that women would want to be a part of Mormonism, because it was just, it sounded horrible in my mind. It's like, oh, you're gonna be a wife forever? Like, you're gonna go to heaven with your husband and produce endless amounts of babies? Like, that's not heaven to me. Like, I would not want to be pregnant for all of eternity. But yeah, to me, I was just like, it was so weird, because I just could not understand why any woman would think that that was worth it. Like, is it worth it? But I couldn't see that in my own religion it was the same way, where it's like, well, men are the head of the house, and, you know, you just have to follow your husband and whatever he does, because he's got the God power and you don't. And it's just like, what? Just because he has a dick does not mean that he's closer to God. Like, it's ridiculous. And yeah, but I didn't see it before, and now that I'm out of it, I'm just like, I don't think any woman who actually knew how Christianity and the Bible treats women, past or present, should ever be in that religion, because you're basically advocating for the oppression of your own sex. And it's just like, what? I don't understand it now, because I've been out of it so, like, long, that it's just, oh, it frustrates me that, and I think a lot more women should come out of the church and be more independent and be able to live their own lives. But that's just my opinion. Yeah. That was fun. Golden calf, man. I always found it interesting that Aaron always, like... Okay, so Aaron is supposed to be God's, like, high priest. But he blatantly told a lie to Moses the, like, minute he came down from the mountain. Like, oh, I just collected all these earrings and threw them in a fire and a calf just magically came out. Like, okay. I always thought that was a weird one too, because it's like, this is the man that God chose to be the high priest in his tabernacle. And, you know, if God's the same yesterday, today, and forever, like, God knew that, you know, years down the road, Aaron was going to say that. And it's like, I don't think he would have been my first pick as a priest if he would just come out and say that some magical golden calf came out of a fire for the people to worship. But, I don't know. I don't think these stories actually happened. By the way, if anyone thinks that I'm an atheist, I don't believe any of these stories are literal. But I just think that's funny. And also, like, why would they write that in there? Like, blatantly, like, show... I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to show his humanity and be like, oh, he's human and lies too. I don't know. It's interesting. The Bible's an interesting book. Yeah. Well, I don't think I have any more to say about all that right now. Thank you all for coming. I am super excited that it is October, and I have been looking for some spooky stories from the Bible to tell y'all on my YouTube. So I got like 3 or 4 of them today. So hopefully this weekend I have some time to start recording those and then figure out how I'm gonna turn those into animations. Some of the ones I've got are pretty out there, and I really want to make them good, but I don't know exactly how I'm gonna make them, because a lot of the stuff in some of them, like, it's really out there, and we'll see. We'll see what I can come up with animation-wise, or what I can figure out. It should be interesting. But if you like creepy stuff and spooky stuff, because I sure do, yeah, I'm going to try to do I don't know how many I'll actually get done this month, but if I can get them all recorded over this weekend, because I have a longer weekend, yeah, that'll be fun. So, hoping to get those done. If I get the ones that I got today, then I'll have 4 of them that I can do, so hopefully I can get at least 2 done that I can put on my channel for Halloween, so I'm really excited. If I had more time, I would love to do one every day, but animations take time. And, you know, doing this and being a mom and working 2 jobs right now. I mean, they're jobs I can work on my own time, but at this point. But at the same time, it's like, life gets busy, and I don't always have time to, sit down and, like, it's a process, because I have to, like, get the information, and then I have to write a script, and then after I write a script, I have to, go through and make sure it's what I want to say, and then after I do that, like, I have to find a time and sit down and record it in a quiet time in my house, which is difficult when I have 2 young kids, but, I do what I can when I can. Yeah, and then after that I have to go through the recordings and make them nice. Because when you first record stuff, like, I don't know if you guys want to know all the technical stuff I have to do, but basically when I record my stuff for, like, my animations, there's a lot of sounds that you don't want in your videos. Like, I don't know, like, it might sound clear on here for this, but when you do a recording, like, you can hear every little sound that, like, comes through. Like, all the little clicks, all the little pops, all the little gulps. I'm a terrible person when it comes to, like, just big gulps in the middle of talking. And, so I have to go through and I have to, like, clean all that up. So that takes time. And then once that's all cleaned up and beautiful sound, then I can go, start looking at how I'm gonna make my animation, and then I have to, like, it's a process, people. I'm just gonna tell you about the process. Yeah, after that I have to go in and, like, figure out what each sound thing, like, has in it, and, like, what kind of pictures or video or whatever I want to put with that. So then I have to go online and I have to find, like, the videos or the pictures that I actually want to put with that, and, like, download each one. And then after that, I can go into my animation studio and actually, like, animate my little person that I have that's me. And that's a process too, because you have to, like, line up the sound with her mouth, which is a pain in the butt sometimes, because sometimes it doesn't always line up the way you want, and it doesn't automatically do it. Like, I have to sit there sometimes for a few hours and just watch it over and over and over again. And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I know I'm not perfect at it, because it's all of it that I've done is it's all self-taught. Like, I was not taught how to do any of this animation stuff. Like, it was very much watch videos, spend time doing it, It's very, and it's tedious. You look at other creators and you're like, oh, they're so creative and they're so, like, these videos are so awesome. Like, I would love to do this. And yeah, that's how I was. And I still am. Like, I do love to do this, but can I just tell you right now, it is very tedious when you do, like, animations, because I literally have to sit there and listen to my own voice for hours on end, saying the same thing over and over and over again. So by the time I get to, like, my final video cut where I've gone through everything and put it all together, because, like, my animated stuff is, I, like, do all of that on one animation software, but then I have to just put it onto an editor and edit everything after that, because, like, my intro and my outro, they're not on that editor, and I can't add them with the editor that I have, like, on the animated one. I have to add them later on the editing stuff. So by the time I've literally gone through all that editing and I get to the very final version, which I have already watched, like, 3 times before I publish it, because I want to make sure it's, like, good and I don't miss anything. So by the time I get to the final edit, I'm just like, I literally have this memorized, and I'm so bored of it. But I'm like, but at least it'll be good for my people who like to watch my YouTube videos, because, oh my gosh. Yeah. I have to give props to other YouTubers out there, because I don't think I could do this job, hobby, whatever you want to call it. This thing I like to do, my activism, I don't think I could just do it if it wasn't something I actually enjoyed doing, you know? Even though, like, by the end, all of the edits and stuff get, you know, they get to you. Sometimes you have to take a break, but I mean, at the end, when you finally get to put out whatever you create and people see it and they actually, like, enjoy it and, you know, say they want more, it makes it all worth it. Or, you know, having people say, you know, I was having doubts and I had questions, and, you know, watching your video really helped me, you know, figure out where I want to be. And I know that hasn't happened like a ton to me, but I have had a few people tell me like that some of my videos have helped them come out of the church, and that's crazy to me because, like, yeah, when I started that's kind of what I wanted to do, was help people like that. But when you actually hear people come onto your, you know, DMs or wherever and be like, "Oh yeah, you actually helped me," it's like it's it's crazy, because it's like I spent all this time doing this, and this is exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people, but it's a whole different feeling when you actually do help people, and it's a good feeling. I don't know. I enjoy it. I like it. I like being able to do that for people and help them not feel so alone. So, yeah. Now you know my crazy process of my animations. That's why doing this is sometimes easier, because I can just get on for like an hour and just talk. I'm not the greatest person at speaking, though. I know that. I'm one of those people. I know I say and I know I say like a lot. And I'm working on that. But at the same time, you know, I think a mix of both has been good for me, because then I don't get so burned out on my animations. Because I think in the beginning it was very, like, I was so driven to do this that I just kept pumping out like animations. Like, I had a goal to just get one out every week, and you know, that worked for a while, and then real life happened, and it was like, I can't do this right now. Like, I have other things in my life that I need to do, and you know, animations, they take a while to do. They really do. But having the final product and, you know, seeing that it's actually helping people makes it all worth it. Even when, you know, I've watched the video like 10 times and I'm just done with it, but I have to watch it one more time because I want to make sure that it is the best that it can be for my audience before I put it out. So if anyone has any, you know, desire to be a YouTuber, just know, if you're an animator, unless like you went to school and stuff and you know how to do things quicker, but if you're like an amateur like me, it definitely takes time, and it takes resources, and it takes a lot of patience. Let's just say that. I do know that after doing this, I definitely appreciate Holy Kool-Aid a whole lot more, because, you know, I used to wait for his videos to come out, and I'm like, why does it take so long? Like, make another video. Like, just come on, dude. And it's like, oh my gosh, I get it now. Like, it's not easy, and you can't just do it overnight. Like, this is a process, and I definitely have to give him kudos for not only inspiring me to, you know, start with my animations, but also just to know how much time and effort it actually takes, and that it's not easy to get one out every week, because it's a lot of work. And especially if you're a one person show like I am, like, I don't have anyone working for me. Like, I have literally done this YouTube and Twitch and Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Linktree, like everything that you need to be like an activist online. Like, it's all been me, you know. I set all that up. I took time out of my day, you know, when I had the little time I did, to set all those things up and to take time to do this because it was important to me. And, you know, and this isn't a job right now. I mean, this really is kind of more of a hobby for me, because I'm not getting paid to do this. Like, I think I've put more money into this than I've been paid for anything. So, and that's another thing, if you're gonna be a YouTuber, is that you're gonna put a lot of money into it. So, but I'm hoping eventually it'll be worth it. And even if I only get paid like $2, like, I don't care. Like, I think it's worth it. And if I never get paid, that's fine too. Like, I know some people, like, they do this as a job, and I would love to do this as a job. I would love to be able to animate and do that kind of stuff every day. But I also know, like, it's not for everyone. And, you know, I don't have to get paid to do this. This is what I want to do. But I know, you know, people know that content creators put a lot of effort and a lot of work into what they actually do, and that it's not an easy thing. And yeah, I don't know. Now I'm just giving advice for anyone who wants to, like, do online stuff, because it's not always as easy as it seems. Yeah, I don't know, but it does take a lot of work. And, you know, I feel like I have put in the work that I want to put in for this. You know, I just think about, like, when I was a Christian, like, I used to put in a lot of work with other people to, you know, be friends with them and stuff too. It wasn't really an alternative motive, but, you know, I was raised to, you know, and taught that I need to go out there and help people, and the way I was going to do that was to save them for Christ. So I feel like now that I'm on the other side of that, that this is kind of like my, not saving people for Christ, but, because obviously I'm an atheist now, but I don't know, kind of just being there to support people who feel like they don't have support when they do leave the church. And I don't know, maybe that's just the kind of person I am, is I want to help people any way I can. I'm rambling now. Sorry. Sorry if you want to hear my rambling about my YouTube and all that jazz, but yeah. I think the best thing out of this, other than, like, you know, being able to create things and being able to be there for other people, is the community that I have become a part of. Because before I streamed, like, I didn't even know there was this community of atheist people that, you know, are so loving and caring, and just reach out to people like they've been friends for years. And, like, these people live all over the world, and they act like you're your best friend. And it's really nice to have that community and, have people reach out to you and go, I'm here for you during this hard time, and whatever you need, like, we'll help you through whatever. And I just think that's incredible, because I feel like the opposite was kind of true at the church, where it was very much like, you have to be a part of our church in order for us to do anything for you. And it wasn't that way when I started doing my YouTube and my Twitch on here. Like, they completely welcomed me with open arms, and they completely understood where I was coming from, and they just drew me in as a true friend, and not as, there was no alternative or ulterior motive. Like, it was very much like, you are a person and you matter. And, a lot of us in this community have gone through that. We have gone through, leaving a religion, whatever it might be, and, completely losing that community that we had, and even some people completely losing even their families, because some of these religions are very just anti anyone who's not a believer. And I feel like the atheist community is amazing when it comes to actually reaching out to people who feel lost or hopeless once they realize that what they were taught wasn't true. And this online community that I have found is amazing. And, when I used to just watch, like, the main atheist people, like, I didn't even know some of these other people existed, like, these smaller channels and stuff. And now, like, I call some of these people my friends. Like, they're amazing people who do amazing things for other people. And, that's something that I feel like a lot of the churches that I went to lacked. And I would definitely recommend that if you are someone who is leaving or doubting or has questions or anything, find that atheist community online. Like, especially on YouTube. YouTube has, like, a huge community of people on there that they're just amazing, and they actually care about you to a point where it's like, if I went and visited this person on the other side of the world, like, it would be like visiting an old friend, because they're just the most incredible people that I've ever met. So I'm really glad that I found them. And if you need someone, I would definitely recommend go on YouTube, and, even go on the bigger channels too. If you go on, like, Holy Kool-Aid or Godless Engineer, or I don't know, I'm trying to think, like, the big ones that a lot of other people go on. But you'll find a lot of people in that community, that not just, the video. Go in the chat rooms and talk to those people, because a lot of those people, all know where you're coming from, and they all get you. And, if I could list everyone here, I totally would, because they're just amazing. And I have to give a huge shout out to MathPig, because he's the one who introduced me to all these amazing people. So if you really want to find a good community, like, go visit MathPig's channel, watch some of his, chats with people, and, watch the chat. And if he's live, go on the chat, talk to those people, because a lot of those people are really good friends of mine now, and they are amazing people, and they will give you the shirt off their back, if you are in need, because they care. And I think that's something that I lacked growing up in the church, is that it wasn't about caring about other people. It was, our entire motivation was to save people for Jesus, so that they could go to heaven. So that when they die, they get a better life than the one they have here. And, the people in the atheist community, they don't have ulterior motives. They've just been where these people have been. We've all been there. All of us in the atheist community, well, not all of us, but a lot of us in the atheist community came from religion. We came from believing things that we were taught growing up, and those people know what it feels like to walk away from that, and the hurt and the pain and the anger and the loneliness that comes with that. And having those people around is so important. And I think, COVID kind of helped me find that, even though it sucks. Like, I wish COVID hadn't happened, but at the same time, it's like, without that happening, I don't think I would have taken that leap and gone on here and actually talked to other people. So, I guess I would just say, don't be afraid to talk to other atheists, whether they're YouTubers or on Twitch, or even just in the side stream of one of the shows that people watch a lot. Like, there's just a community of people here that know each other, and they actually care about each other in a way that it's almost like a big family, a big extended family online. And it's changed my whole mindset on how people can reach out and help each other in times of, not just times of need, but times of just getting together and hanging out. I, can't go hang out with these people like in real life right now, but, I spend time talking to them, whether that's, through DMs or going on some of their shows and just talking. Like, I've been on, other people's shows and, spent time with other people in those ways. So I think it's a great way to connect with other people, and a great way to just show people that, there are people who are here who know what you're going through, and they know how to help you, and even what you might need in that moment. So yeah, my streams are weird. My live streams are weird because I just talk all over the place. And I should go to bed now because it's like 11:30 at night. That's okay. Hopefully I can sleep in a little tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how early my kids decide to wake me up. Yeah. Sorry about my because that's something I'm definitely working on. Thank you all for coming. This has turned into a very long stream, but I hope if you did come and watch that, you got something out of it. If you didn't see the beginning, I did read the Bible. I read 31 and 32 in Exodus, if you want to go back and watch it. I read the NIV version, so if you want to read along, you can get the NIV version. Or you can do any version you want. That's just the one I use, so if it's easier for you to follow along with the same version. If you want to follow me on here, on Twitch, you can. If you want to follow me on Facebook, you can. Yeah. I don't know. Trying to think. Oh, Twitter. OP_atheist on Twitter. And I'm also on Instagram, Overprotected Atheist. And I'm on Facebook, Overprotected Atheist. And I also have a website. Yes, I have done all these things myself. Oh my god, I'm tired. I've done all these things myself. Website, overprotectedatheist.com. I've done a little blogging there. I think I've only done like 2 or 3. I need to work on that better because I'm definitely one of those people who likes to write, but I'm terrible at grammar, and I feel bad for anybody who reads my stuff that is like super into grammar because I'm not good at it. But if you want to go over there, tells you a little bit about me and some of the books I, suggest if you're coming out of the church and, you want to hear other people's stories or, I don't know, just what other people think about different religions and stuff and people who came out of those religions and why they're atheists now. And then there's also my merch for my Teesprings on there too, under the support me. So if you want to buy any merch, I have like mugs and t-shirts and sweatshirts. I have one sweatshirt. I mean, like, I own one of my own sweatshirts. But mine has the old logo on it because I changed my logo. And it's white. I shouldn't have got a white one because I'm a mom. I can't wear white as a mom because my kids always somehow get stuff on me. Anyways, yeah, mugs, sweatshirts, stickers. If there's anything you want, you can go over there and buy it. Support me. I don't know. If there's anything else, it would probably be on my website. Yeah. And you can just support me by following me here. Giving a thumbs up on YouTube. And follow me on Twitch. I'm going to stop rambling now. Thank you everyone who has been following me and all the people who have started following me on Twitch. I know. Loud car. Sorry. There's got a really loud engine right outside my bedroom window. I don't know what I was saying. Thank you everyone who's been following me on my YouTube and my Twitch. I mean, that is a huge support just to be seen, I guess, and, know that people actually want to come here, and read the Bible along with me. And I know there's going to be parts that are just going to be annoying. I don't know how many people are actually going to follow me once we get to Leviticus, so. I remember when I was still in church, we had this, young adult group that we did. And I don't know what we were thinking, but we were going to try to read the Bible through in a whole year. Like I'm trying to do, which is not going to happen. But I remember when we got to, Numbers and Leviticus, and all of us were just why are we doing this? This is not fun. This is not something we should want to be doing. We're all in our 20s. What are we doing with our lives? So, yeah, we'll see how many people stick around for the boring parts of the Bible. But there's exciting things, too. I think Revelation will be fun. That was always my favorite to read when I was a Christian. I don't know why. Apparently because I believed that I was going to be in heaven when all these things were going to happen, because I went to a church who believed in the rapture. So I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about this stuff if I am a Christian, because all the bad people will get it. Oh, my life. Alright. It's late. I need to sleep. I hope you guys have a good evening, morning, night, day, wherever you are. And I will see you all. I don't know if I'm going to do one tomorrow. If I do one tomorrow, it'll probably be another late one because my kids don't have school tomorrow. So trying to stream during the day with them in the house is not going to work. They're too loud. I'm tired, man. Okay. Yes. So if I don't stream tomorrow, I will probably stream Monday. So hopefully, if it's not tomorrow, we'll stream again on Monday. And we'll be on Exodus 33. And hopefully my cold will be completely gone by then. And I won't sound so bad. But I'm getting better. Alright, friends. I'm gonna go now. It's time for bed. Good night.